Good evening, hockey fans. Welcome back inside the neutral zone on Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. We're going to be going back to school tonight. Of course, we're going to be keeping up with the NHL as well. We've got some stories from the pros, but the college rank has been going for a couple weeks now, and we are overdue to check in on those young men and women. How is the champion Denver doing this season to get started off? How about Wisconsin over on the women's side? How are the Lady Badgers doing? Are there any upsets in the making? We will check in on all those. On the pro side, we've got 11 games going on tonight, all going to keep us busy, including the return of the number one overall pick this last season. Macklin Celebrini comes back to the San Jose Sharks. How is that going to affect things? Who else is looking big tonight? Who's doing what, where? All that plus more coming up right here, right now in the neutral zone. Buckle on up. Pass that puck. Defend the blue paint. And of course, stay out of that penalty box. Let's go. And welcome back on into the neutral zone here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. I am your host, Adam Karnick. Glad that you are here with us tonight. Zach Puplis has got the night off. He's got taxi duty. He's picking his mom up from the airport, so he is busy tonight. So it is you and me for the next however long we go tonight. We might do a full show. We might cut it a little short tonight. We'll see how things go with the show tonight. But welcome on in. We're going to have a lot of fun. Of course, we're going to talk NHL. We've got 11 games on the docket tonight in the NHL. We'll keep you updated on those with the scores around the league. We'll see what else is happening, what else is going on. We've got the number one overall pick is returning to the ice tonight for the San Jose Sharks. So Macklin Celebrini back out there. We will discuss that, but then we're going to be going back to school tonight. We're going to be taking a look in the college ranks, both men and women. They've been playing for a little over a month now, which means we are well overdue for checking in and seeing how things are going. So a lot to get to on the show tonight. But of course, before we go anywhere, we've got to have a quick word from our sponsors. We'll be right back after that. IE Sports Radio fans, this show is brought to you by Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. Planet Jerky is the official jerky of the 2022 California League champion Lake Elsinore Storm, Single A affiliate of the San Diego Padres. This all brisket jerky has gluten-free options, contains no MSG, no sodium nitrate, is low in sugar, and high in protein. Go to their website at planetjerky.net and follow them on Instagram at Planet Jerky. Planet Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet.
Hey there, IE Sports Radio fans. Be sure to check out our sponsor, Seal the Deal Wax Seals by Cecilia B. You just finished your very own wedding or baby shower invitations and you're looking for that extra special touch? Maybe you just wrote a letter to a relative or a friend and you want to add to their smile when they receive it. Then seal the deal with Cecilia's handmade sealing wax stamps for your invitations, letters, and gifts. You bring the deal, we'll bring the seal. You can find them on Instagram at sealthedeal_wax stamps and on Facebook, Seal the Deal Wax Seals.
For the last 10 years, IE Sports Radio has been bringing you amazing content ranging from interviewing legendary athletes, coaches, and other authorized media personnel to building tailor-made shows dedicated to all major sports cities around the country. Make sure to follow us at IE Sports Radio on X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube to keep up with the latest in sports and with all of our shows. Also, make sure to check out our daily updated website at iesportsradio.com. At iesportsradio.com, you can see our daily show schedule and check out all of our show pages with personal bios to learn a little bit more about each of our awesome hosts. In addition to our show pages, you can catch the IE Sports Radio blog, Hall of Fame, Fans of the Month page, and our merchandise shop including t-shirts, tank tops, caps, long sleeves, hoodies, and more. For now over a decade here at IE Sports Radio, we've continued to be by the fans, for the fans, and we thank you all for your support and for making IE Sports Radio your direct feed for all that is sports.
And welcome back on into the neutral zone here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. I want to say, of course, thank you to all of our sponsors for making this show and all the shows on the network possible. Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky, Seal the Deal Wax Seals, and of course, IE Sports Radio. You heard how to follow along with all the shows on the station. I'll throw it up here on the screen for those watching on either YouTube or Twitter or Instagram. We'll throw it up on the screen here real quick. You can follow along at IE Sports Radio on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Just search at IE Sports Radio. You can follow along with all of the shows on the network. This show is available for you on Twitter as well. We are at IESR Neutral Zone, or you can follow along with me personally. I am at Adam_Karnick. And for everybody that is watching live here tonight, hop on into the chat room, whether you're on YouTube or Twitter or Instagram, hop on into the chat. Let us know that you're here. Mikey Two Guns, good to see you, sir. Mikey Two Guns of our bleeping city is watching tonight from Boston. He is hoping for a Boston Bruins comeback. He's also excited about the Boston College Eagles. Taryn Rodriguez, good evening to you, sir. Yeah, we're going to do our best to have ourselves a good show. And then Larry B., the czar and overlord of all things IE Sports Radio. He's excited because he and his lovely wife get to go watch the Anaheim Ducks here coming up. You're going to have to let me know which game, Larry. We'll be sure to spotlight that one, and I'll be sure to keep an eye on that one when you're going. Yeah, and that comment, we're going to leave that one off. This is a family friendly show, Larry. We're going to leave that comment off of there. You can if those of you are watching the comment section, you can figure out what he said there. So, as we always do with every show. Now this is, I am all me by my lonesome here tonight. Zach has got the night off. He's being a good son and helping out his mom a little bit. So it is just us here. It is just us here tonight. So we can have a little bit of fun. We'll see how long we go. We may go a little short tonight. We may go a little long. We'll kind of just play it all by ear tonight, but we will try to keep a little bit of our structure that we normally do. And that means starting off with the scores around the NHL. We've got 11 games on the docket for tonight, a very busy night in the NHL tonight. Out in Buffalo, the Buffalo Sabres absolutely taking it to the Ottawa Senators 4-1. Tage Thompson, the most recent goal for the Sabres, 4 different goal scorers for Buffalo on the night tonight. Off to a fantastic job in that one. In Toronto, the Bruins and the Maple Leafs, that's the one that Mikey Two Guns is keeping an eye on. Yeah, they need a little, the Bruins need a little bit of help there. They're closing out a power play against the Maple Leafs, but the Toronto Maple Leafs, with Austin Matthews banged up, it doesn't matter. The Maple Leafs up 2-0 very early in the third on that one. I believe, I'm going to double check the box score. I believe that Austin Matthews is out tonight for the Maple Leafs. Indeed, yes, he is. So no Austin Matthews tonight for the Maple Leafs, but they're trugging along. A couple of power play goals have the Maple Leafs up 2-0. Yeah, Mikey Two Guns. We need a 3-point shot in hockey. No, see, that's the beautiful thing about hockey is there's one puck, it goes in one net, it counts one time. We don't have those multi-point things like they do in basketball or football. We get one puck goes in one net, one goal. That's what you get. In Montreal, the Canadiens and the Flames tied at 1 apiece very early in the third period there. They've got just under 17 minutes left to go in regulation on that one. Connor Zary, the Calgary goal, and then Brendan Gallagher converted on the power play for Montreal in the second to tie things up. So 1-1 in Montreal tonight. Down in Carolina, the Hurricanes and the Flyers just tied things up in the third period. So we are not at all at 4 goals apiece between the Hurricanes and the Flyers. The Flyers getting the most out of their offense tonight, just 16 shots on net, but 4 of them have gone in. You'll take that efficiency every single night of the week. We got a penalty upcoming on the Flyers, though. So the Hurricanes about to go on a power play. Let's see what they'll be able to do with that. Calgary so far has not, we have just 1 power play goal in the game so far. Philly had that way back in the first period. For the Hurricanes tonight, taking a quick peek at the box, the Hurricanes, they're 0-for-1 on the power play, so they've got an opportunity here upcoming to try and make some things happen. And good evening, Big Mike, QB stability, please. Winnipeg is, yes, absolutely. The Jets off to a fantastic start this season. Hey, when you've got Connor Hellebuck, you are going to have success. And Connor Bedard is awful. What? Oh, sir, we are going to have some words there about that. I know you're kidding. I know we're having some fun there. The Indy Fuel of the ECHL. We may just have to take a peek and see how they're doing tonight as well down there in the ECHL, the Indy Fuel there. Meanwhile, end of 2 in New York. The Penguins up 2-1 on the Islanders. Evgeny Malkin with a power play goal to give the Penguins the lead in the second. The Islanders have yet to lead in this one. Sidney Crosby opened things up with goal number 598 on his career. Got that in the second. And then Kyle Palmieri tied things up, and then Evgeny Malkin converted a power play late in the second period to retake the lead. 13 minutes left to go in the second period in St. Louis. It is the Lightning up 1-0 on the Blues. Nick Perbix, the lone goal on that one, his first of the season. Sorelli and Kucherov with the assists on that. So Tampa Bay up 1-0. The Blues just 5 shots through the game's opening 27 minutes. So the ice a little slanted there right now in St. Louis, not in the home team's favor. 12 minutes to go in the second. The Minnesota Wild up 1-0 on the LA Kings. Kings in a little bit of a tailspin right now. But trying to get out of it. Meanwhile, the Wild up 1-0. Speaking of those Winnipeg Jets that Big Mike brought up a minute ago, they are tied with the I've had this discussion before. I am not calling them the Utah Hockey Club. They had a perfectly good name right there. All they had to do was just call themselves the Yeti. That's all they had to do. It was the perfect hockey name. So until they come up with a real name, I am just calling them the Utah Yeti. The Jets and Utah tied at 0 with 12 and a half minutes left to go in the second period. 15 shots on net for the Jets, Utah with just 9. Both teams have had power play opportunities, but haven't been able to get anything in there as of yet. The Avalanche very early on against the Kraken down in Denver. It is 1-0 Avalanche. Both teams just 2 shots on net. Chris Wagner, the early goal. Nathan McKinnon with already his 15th assist on the season. So 1-0. And then we've got a couple games coming up later on. The Vancouver Canucks down in Anaheim to take on the Ducks. They will be dropping the puck shortly after we wrap up tonight. And then a big one that I want to get into a little bit here, dropping the puck at 10:30 Eastern time, 7:30 out west, which means more like 7:45 will be when they actually drop the puck and get started. The Columbus Blue Jackets taking on the San Jose Sharks. Larry having some fun. Go Yotes. Oh, wait. Yeah. They're now in Utah. You know, they didn't pick a name. I don't like that. Good evening, Alden, as well. Yeah, the Hurricanes, they are on top a little bit, trying to keep going. Now tonight, having a little bit of trouble. Still 4-4 there. Now the Flyers getting ready to go on a power play there in that one. But the big story for the Sharks, they were the last team to finally get a win in the NHL. It took them a little bit, but they finally got off a snide. We talked about that last week, but they've then gone on a little bit of a tear. Have the Sharks, all things, in moderation when we're talking about a team that's 3-8-2 overall. But the Sharks, they have gotten 3 wins when a week ago we were talking about a team that had just finally, it was all they could do just to get 1 win. They now have 3, including one against my Blackhawks. Yeah. Not good stuff there, but starting to ramp up, starting to heat up. They had wins. They've gotten wins against both Utah and the Kings in that span. They did lose their first one this month to the Canucks back on Saturday night, but still a decent showing and we're starting to see some things. And now Celebrini is coming back. Macklin Celebrini, he's been out since the opener. He got injured in his NHL debut. He's going to come back tonight after missing a month. He's returned to team activities on Halloween. So he's gotten about not quite a week's bit of practice underneath him, doing some skating, doing some work there. But it's always good when, you know, the young kids that you're trying to build around are coming back. And Mikey Two Guns, yep, Celebrini from Boston pointing out, and from Boston U. So some excitement there for the Sharks. Columbus, meanwhile, comes in. The Blue Jackets come into this one 5-5-1 overall. So hockey 500, 11 points in 11 games. They have dropped their last two coming into this when they got blasted by the Capitals over the weekend 7-2, and got blasted the night before that by the Jets 6-2. So Columbus coming in on a little bit of a frustrating streak here. Let's see if they can turn things around, or if this is just going to be kind of a continuation. So it should be a rocking atmosphere out there in San Jose tonight. Should be a lot of fun. We'll see what Macklin Celebrini is able to do in what should be a full night of NHL action, and hopefully we'll see some exciting results. We'll see some good things, and you'll be able to have some good hope and some good vibes out in San Jose with the return of the rookie. All right, we are going to take our first quick break here tonight, and then we're going to go off to school. The NCAA hockey season is about a month in at this point, which means we are way past due to talk about them a little bit. So we're going to check in on the collegiate scene on the other side of this break. You are listening to the Neutral Zone here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. We'll be right back after this.
Hello, sports fans. It's me, your boy Larry B, and I want to walk you through the world of sports. No, not just the mainstream major TV deal type sports, although those are important too. But let me be your guide for your journey of all sports, from college to the pros, the minors, and everything in between. Each week, we are talking sports galore with true diehards just like you from a hardcore fan's perspective that's sure to quench your thirst around leagues you may know all too well and some you may even discover here. That's right, sports fans. If you love sports of all kinds, enjoy hearing amazing sports stories, and respect all sports because you know how difficult any of them can be to play or compete in, then this is your show. Join me, your boy Larry B, on the defining moment each week here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports, and let the sports come to you.
What's good, sports fans? It's your boy Aaron Yell, and if you are looking for sports takes that live a mile above the rest, look no further than Mile High Musings here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Want to talk about NBA MVPs and champions? Yeah, that's us. Perhaps a baseball team that no matter how they play, you just can't quit them? Yep, we've got that too. What about Stanley Cups, NHL award winners in the burgundy and blue? You got it. How about Buffaloes that run, pass, shoot, dunk? You bet. For all things Colorado sports, look no further than right here every Sunday at 10 Eastern, 9 Central, 8 Mountain, and 7 Pacific. Because if that light is red and the kids are in bed, you are listening to Mile High Musings, where we praise the Lord and cheer for them Denver Broncos. Stay good, sports fans.
And welcome back on into the neutral zone here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. It is high time that we talked about some college hockey here on the show. We are a month into the NHL season. We are also a month into the collegiate season. So it is well past time that we put ourselves off to school and we check in on what's going on. We're going to start things off over on the men's side tonight. Take a quick peek over at the rankings where the defending champion University of Denver, they're still sitting pretty right there at number 1 overall. 8-0-0 on the season. 48 out of the 50 voters putting Denver at number 1. We'll get to the other two here in a moment because there's a strange one in there that, all right, somehow the voters one of the voters decided to have a little bit of fun in there, I suppose. By the way, good evening, Jen B. We're doing our best to have a fun show tonight. Yeah, and the Buckeyes, they are listed in here, so we are going to talk about them a little bit. Ohio State down a little bit in the rankings. They did move up, but they've still got a long ways to go. So Denver 8-0-0. They were number 1 a week ago. They're staying at number 1. Number 2, also no change there. Boston College 5-1-0 on the season. They were number 2 last week. They're staying number 2 this week. A little bit of a change, though. Flip-flop at 3 and 4. Minnesota moves up to number 3 this week, 7-1-0 on the season. They also received a first place vote in there, while Michigan State, the Sparties, fell from 3 to 4. Maine jumps into the top 5, went from 7 up to 5. And then at number 6, this is the strange one to me. Cornell jumps up from 9 to 6, and Cornell received the final first place vote in the men's ranking. The reason that I find that very odd and suspicious, and I kind of raise an eyebrow at that, Cornell has played all of 2 games this season. I don't see how anybody could decide that, oh, that means they should be ranked number 1 overall, but I digress. Jumping up from 11, winding up in the top 10 this season, Michigan 5-2-1 overall. They jump into the top 10. Colorado College stays at number 8, 6-0-0 for Colorado College. Boston University, they fell, a rough week for Boston U. They fell all the way from 5 down to 9. They are 4-3-0 on the season. North Dakota, also a rough week for North Dakota University. They are now at 3-4-0 on the season, but they fell from 6 all the way down to 10. Providence then at 11, St. Cloud State at 12, Ohio State at 13, Western Michigan at 14, Quinnipiac 15, Minnesota State 16, UMass Lowell at 17, Massachusetts 18, Penn State falls from 18 to 19, and Notre Dame goes from 19 to 20. So all the same schools from a week ago in the top 20. However, some changes inside of there. Nobody fell out of the top 20. Nobody moved into the top 20, but we did have some shuffling around from inside there. You've got a couple schools. you've got one school kind of on the fringe. Union is hanging out there at what would be number 21 if they went that far. They're the only one really in any position to threaten getting into the rankings. Notre Dame has 86 points. Union would have 75. So we'll see how things go this week. We'll take a look at what some of the games coming. We don't have anything on the docket tonight because it's a Tuesday. The games normally go on over the weekend. Taking a look here, we do have some big ones coming up this weekend. Some top 20 matchups. Ohio State and Michigan State are playing each other this weekend. That'll be I know Zach's going to have his eye on that one. Notre Dame goes up to Ann Arbor to take on Michigan. That'll be an exciting top 20 weekend going on there. Maine and Boston College, 2 top 5 teams playing each other this weekend. That will be a sensational weekend for those up in the Northeast. That'll be a great one to watch and keep your eye on. UMass Lowell and Boston University taking on each other this weekend as well. And Cornell hosting Yale in the Ivy League. So a little bit of some Ivy League hockey going on there. Other ones of note, we'll see what Union has going on this weekend, see what they can do to possibly break into the rankings. Looks like they don't have anything on Friday. Let's see if I can find them. See where they may be at. They are taking on Alaska Fairbanks this weekend. So unranked, we'll see what if anything they're able to do. Then they're gonna need some help. Somebody's gonna have to fall to make some room a little bit for them to come in. And the number 1 Denver is taking on Lindenwood this weekend. So I would not expect any bit of a change there at the top. Lindenwood just 2-5-1 on the season to this point. So I wouldn't expect Denver to fall out of rankings in the slightest this week at all. They should easily be able to handle their business in that one and take the weekend and come out still undefeated there for on the men's side. Going on over to the women's side, as we'll switch over. I've got to pull my rankings up, so bear with me just a moment. Sorry, got to get all my stuff up here. Currently in the rankings, Ohio State, those Buckeyes still staying. Oh, no, excuse me. That's not. Sorry, pulling up old data here. I'm sorry. I apologize for the delay. Want to make sure I'm getting all the current stuff up here. All right, this is being a little troublesome for me, so we'll go with my other route. Sorry. So this is where having Zach is such a help. He can be emptying his notebook. He could be emptying his notebook while I'm getting these things pulled up and verified and checked all in the backgrounds. He'll be back and ready to go. All things going here. So for the women's side, for the women's side of things this season, no big changes or updates yet, but we'll be having things for you as they come about, I would still expect Wisconsin, Ohio State, the usual suspects there to be strong and having good seasons, there on the women's side of things. On the men's side, Denver undefeated, still having a very strong start to their season. I would not expect a whole lot of change there this week. There's some good matchups on the collegiate side, some good top 20 matchups all going on. The Big Ten, Ohio State and Michigan State going on, the top 5 matchup there between Maine and Boston. That should be an outstanding weekend going on there. We will check in on that and clue in on those, but that could very easily be a Final Four, a Frozen Four preview for you there that weekend. So those are always outstanding matchups when you get to have those kind of matchups early on in the season. Those are always good reasons to tune in and keep an eye on the collegiate scene as well. All right, we are going to take ourselves we will take ourselves one more quick little break. We'll check in on how things are wrapping up tonight in the NHL. And then I think tonight we're just going to call it a short show on this one here tonight. So a quick little break here. We will get you wrapped up on some games that are wrapping up and going final, a couple others that are getting into the heady parts of their games, and then we will call it a night here on the Neutral Zone.
What's up, sports fans? You're listening to IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. I'm your favorite West Coast Wisconsinite, Bernie Bango, and if you're a cheesehead, come listen to my show, Big Cheese Sports, where we road trip around America's Dairyland, previewing, reviewing, predicting, debating, and digging into all that is Wisconsin sports at the college and pro levels. Join me on IE Sports Radio, Sundays at 1 p.m. Central Standard. Bernie out.
Hello, everyone. My name is Daryl Kinsey Jr., and I'm welcoming you to take another lap with the fastest show on IE Sports Radio. Yes, this is the Extra Mile with me and my co-hosts Christopher Lehman and Michael Ward. We talk everything racing from NASCAR to IndyCar to Formula One to limited hydroplanes, endurance racing, the NHRA, and more. So come join us for an hour of great racing talk and a lot of fun as well on the Extra Mile, Thursdays at 8 p.m. only on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
And welcome back on into the Neutral Zone here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Adam Karnick back with you. We're call it a short show here tonight. We're going to whip around and check in on the games. And actually, we did have one game go final. We've got a couple others that are just moments of that are effectively done, but we're just waiting for the last couple minutes to finish out. And then we've got a couple that are being intriguing here at the end. The one game that is officially final, the Carolina Hurricanes beat the Philadelphia Flyers 35-16. Remember how I mentioned at the top of the show that Philly was not getting a lot of shots, but they were being efficient? Well, they didn't get any more shots after that final one that went in. They finished with just 16 shots on net for the night. Martin Nikas with officially the game-winning goal with 31 seconds left in regulation, an unassisted goal, and then Seth Jarvis tapped in an empty net goal with 2 seconds remaining to round out the scoring. So the Hurricanes get themselves a win. Nikas, a 2-point night, a goal and an assist for him. Brett Burns, also a pair of assists for the Hurricanes in getting that one getting that one home for the Flyers. Travis Kaczynski, he did open the scoring with a power play goal, and he had himself a couple of goals on the night for the Flyers, but not enough to get the win. A couple of games that are not technically done, but effectively are done. The Maple Leafs, no Austin Matthews, no problem for the Maple Leafs. They are up 4-0 on Boston. Steven Lorentz just put in an empty net goal with just over 4 minutes left in regulation to make it 4-0. The power play in full effect for the Maple Leafs tonight. Three of their goals have come on the power play. The penalty box has been busy in this one. Boston 0 for 6 on the power play. The Maple Leafs 3 for 7 on the power play. That is a lot of penalties, a ton of time in the box on both sides. 16 penalty minutes to Boston, 14 penalty minutes for the Maple Leafs, but it's Toronto coming out on top in this one right now, 4-0. They've got under a minute to go in that one, so they are just all but finishing that one up. In Buffalo, the Sabres, they're also just trying to run out the clock on this one, up 5-1 on Ottawa. JJ Peterka, the most recent score for Buffalo, he converted a power play. He is the fifth. Peterka is one of 4 goal scorers. He's had 2 tonight, both on the power play for the Sabres. The Senators, meanwhile, 37 shots on net, but have only gotten 1 to go home. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen is having an outstanding night in net for the Sabres. 36 saves. He has made double-digit saves in each period, including 13 in the first period and 12 so far here in the third period. So a busy night on net for Luukkonen, but the Sabres are going to come out of there victorious. Meanwhile, with just 2 minutes and change left to go in Montreal, the Flames just tied it up. Matt Coronado, his third of the season, got one in, and the Flames and Canadiens are tied at 2 apiece. So looking like some extra time might be needed in Montreal tonight. The Canadiens just 23 shots, the Flames 32 shots on net, but a terrific job by Sam Montembeault, getting 30 stops so far to keep the Canadiens in it, but unfortunately just let one get past him there right at the with about less than 3 minutes to go. They are now 79 seconds away from extra time there. The Penguins building on their lead against the Islanders. They're up now 3-1 in New York. Michael Bunting getting the insurance goal there. So the Penguins looking like they might come away with a win tonight. Still a lot of time left there in that one. End of 2. The Blues got busy while we were looking in on the college scores. The Blues were busy. Alexei Torpachenko with the go-ahead goal out. Oscar Sundqvist tied it for St. Louis with just under 8 minutes to go in the second. And then it was Alex Toropchenko with a minute and a half left in the second period, put the Blues on top. So the Blues on top of the Lightning now 2-1. The Kings, they are on top of the Wild 2-1 after 2. Kevin Fiala, the go-ahead goal, converting a power play with under 2 minutes to go in the second period there, while Warren Fogle tied things up for the Kings. And then the Jets at the end of 2, they are up on Utah 1-0. Gabriel Velarde converting a power play goal to give the Jets the lead. And the way that Connor Hellebuck is playing, 14 saves tonight, including 8 in that second period. That one might be all the Jets need to get the job done. At the end of 1, Colorado is up 2-1 on the Kraken. Jaden Schwartz did tie things up for Seattle, but then Ivan with the go-ahead goal to retake the lead for Colorado. That was with about 6 minutes to go in the first period. So there you have it. We've got 2 games that are officially final, and the Sabres just made it final. So that is 3 games wrapped up there. The Flames and Canadiens headed for overtime. So lots going on in the hockey world. One team that is off tonight, but you'll be able to hear and learn some more about them. The Vegas Golden Knights coming up at the top of the hour. Cale Henderson of Sin City Sports will be breaking down all things Las Vegas, including the Golden Knights. They are off tonight, but they still sit atop the Pacific Division, 8-3-1 on the season, tied with the Kings. So the Kings, they might be overtaking them temporarily, but we'll see how things wind up there. We're going to sound the horn on this show here tonight. Thank you again to all of our sponsors. Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. Jerky's on a whole other planet. Find them on planetjerky.net. Place your orders, or you can follow them on social media at Planet Jerky. We also want to say Seal the Deal Whack Deals with Cecilia B. Go to iesportsradio.com/Seal the Deal Whack Deals to place your orders there. And of course, also thank you to IE Sports Radio for providing the platform for this and all the other shows on the network. Know somebody that would enjoy the show but can't listen in live on Tuesday night? Anywhere you get your podcast, this show is available. Apple Podcasts, Spreaker, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, Audible, CastBox, Deezer, anywhere you get your podcast, this show is available. Just search IE Sports Radio and search the Neutral Zone. Thank you to everybody that hung out with us in the chat room tonight. Jen B, Larry B, Big Mike, Two Guns, all of them. Aaron Rodriguez, thank you to everybody for hanging out in the chat room with us tonight. Finally, thank you for listening. Whether this is your first trip into the Neutral Zone or you're a regular listener, thank you for being here. Really do appreciate it. I know there's a ton of shows out there pulling and cutting at you, but I am very appreciative that this is one that you make a priority. Coming up in just a few minutes here at the top of the hour to Cale Henderson of Sin City Sports. We cut up with everything happening in the world of Las Vegas sports. Next week, Zach will be back. We will be caught up on everything happening in the NHL world. We've got the PWHL as well. Do a little bit of a preview on the rest of the women's hockey leagues, some names to review, all that coming up next week. Until then, stay out of the penalty box, pick that 5 hole, don't forget the boards.